everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I'm back with another round of TBR Mini Star Hop, and I am really excited for it. I absolutely love these weekends. I get so much reading done. I get to just kind of dive into reading and ignore pretty much all of my other responsibilities, which I do quite enjoy. And I'm going to be playing with my Patreons. We're going to play a round of Mini Star Hop in 48 hours like usual. And I am just really hoping to be able to get a lot of my books from my physical TBR on here for this round because I have 13 books on my May TBR, and I would like to be able to knock out several of them this weekend. I've put actually a lot of my hopes on this weekend for my ability to be able to finish this TBR, so hopefully it goes the way that I am planning. I honestly am not too fussed about what kind of prompts I get or those types of things because I do have quite a wide variety of books that I am going to be reading for this month, so I don't think it should be too bad, but I'm definitely excited. I'm excited to just spend time with my patrons, just enjoy a nice weekend of reading. And I actually kind of hope the board is a tad mean to me so that I can be forced to read a lot this weekend and I won't have any room to be lazy about it. So let's go ahead and figure out what my first book is going to be. Okay, here we go with roll number one. I do remember vividly that I don't want a 6 because we've gotten those many times on our first rolls. So we'll see what the board gives us. Oh shoot, why am I rolling 2? I should not be rolling 2. Sorry, that is for my big game. Again, we are gonna start with roll number 1. 1 die, I got this, it's fine. And it's a 6. This black hole is the bane of my existence. Every time. It's fine. We're good. So, of course we landed on the first black hole. I feel like we almost always land on that black hole. It's so rare that we avoid it. So I guess this should just be expected at this point. I should just expect to do it once. But I had something this morning, and so I didn't make the little wheel with all the different names of the books that I have for this month. And so just real quick to make it faster, I just made them numbered, and then whatever number I land on, I will find that book, and that'll be like whatever order it was in when I chose it for my actual TBR for the month. So that's the way it's gonna go, and let's go ahead and roll. Ooh, now there's like double the nervousness. Oh, that was so close. Number 12, okay. Dang, I so thought for a second there we were gonna get a free pick. Okay, I have my list. I have which book goes with which prompt in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Woo! Oh my gosh, this could not have been better. It's Charlotte's Web. Which, if you don't believe me, you can go back and watch my video. It's there, but Charlotte's Web. I'm really excited about this. This is, I think, the shortest book on my TBR. That took me a minute, but we found it. Charlotte's Web by E.B. White, and it is not bad. It is 184 pages. I can do this. This is doable. I'm actually so excited about this. So I will definitely be able to finish this book and do another roll before I have to leave for my activity, my graduation that I'm going to tonight. So yes, this is perfect. This is perfect. Okay, it is now, what, like 2 o'clock? It's now 2 o'clock. So this readathon has only been going for 2 hours, and I have finished my first book, which is Charlotte's Web. This is a middle grade story about a young girl who adopts this little pig, bottle feeds him, and then the pig is sold to her uncle, and she continues to be kind of like good friends with this pig and the other animals on her uncle's farm. And the pig is going to be sold for, or not sold, is going to be turned into Christmas dinner. He makes friends with this spider, and you know, it's very cute. It's a very well-known, beloved story. It talks a lot about death and life and friendship and those types of things. And I think it's a very cute book. I know so many people absolutely adore this. It's a lot of people's favorites. I think it's cute. I think it was sweet. It's It's not an absolute favorite for me, but I really had a good time with it. It was a quick read, and I just don't have that much thoughts on it, honestly, at this point. It was fast. And now I'm able to move on to the next roll, which I'm really excited for. I just don't want to hit the black hole. I'm going to be kind of fine with anything else. I'd prefer something bigger than a 1 or a 2, but I just really would not like to go back to the beginning again. We need to be making some progress. We need to like move down the board a little bit. But I really would like to be able to pick my next read myself, but let's jump into it, see what we get. Okay, let's jump into the next roll. We're right here, we're back at the beginning. It's not fun. Not a 6. Come on, anything but a 6, anything but a 6. I honestly would rather not have a 4 either, but I'll take it if I have to. Whew, I'm nervous, I shouldn't be nervous. 3, okay, 3's good. 3 is good. Ooh, a star prompt, yay. Okay, this is good. This is a good one. Let's go see what we get. Okay, let's see what prompt we get. We are spinning the star wheel. Hopefully it's an easy prompt. Stars have the easiest prompts in general. Why do I look crooked? I don't know. Do I look crooked to you? I look crooked to me. Anyways, we're going to spin the wheel whether we're crooked or not. Let me go ahead, go find it. Also, I apologize. They're doing construction outside. I don't know if I've already said that in the video. I know I said it to my Patreons, but it's loud. It's like a jackhammer literally down below me. Anyways, I think I'm good with any of the books on this list, honestly. I would maybe prefer not to have beautiful or buddy read, just because I feel like that narrows down my choices quite a bit. But other than that, I think I'll be good. So let's spin it and see what we get. Okay, short book, under 300 pages. How is that a thing? Wait, sorry, my recording thing just like disappeared. I'm struggling. Okay, we're good. We're good, we got this. I'm gonna go get some options. Sorry. Okay, I'm actually surprised at how many books I have that are on this month's TBR are under 300 pages. I have 5 to choose from, which is shocking. Usually I don't have hardly any that are under 300 pages unless they are graphic novels or novellas. And on this one, only one of these is a novella. So that's kind of crazy. I mean, it is because I read so much fantasy, and most of these choices are not fantasy. I think this one might be fantasy, maybe not. But let's go ahead. We'll run through the list. We have Normal People by Sally Rooney, Cat's Cradle, and Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. We have, so this is just like a stand-in book, so I have something to show, but it is the next book in this series, which is Lost in the Moment and Found by Shauna Maguire. And then The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshni Chokshi. I just think this is a gorgeous book. It brings me joy to look at it. Okay, I think this is the first one can be eliminated, not because I don't want to read it, because I really, really want to read it. I just, for some reason, I feel like I want to save it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I want to save this one. So this one's gonna wait. Let me see. Of the other ones, I think I'm gonna put this one aside as well, because I think this is the shortest book that I have left on my TBR, and so I think I would like to hold this one back in case I need like a graphic novel, novella. I think novella prompt is on there sometimes, or if I roll it like 1 in the morning and I want to bust another one out by 3 in the morning, this one is probably the easiest, so I'm gonna put that one aside as well. So now we have these 3 left. I think I want to go with one of the Vonnegut books. I haven't read anything by him. I honestly don't put classics onto this readathon all that often, honestly, because they're not my fastest reads for me. They're not slow, but I don't know. Sometimes classics make me slump a little bit, but it's between these 2. They're pretty close to the same length. I think they're both just under 300 pages. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look on Goodreads and see which of them has the highest rating, and whichever one has the highest rating on Goodreads is one I'm gonna pick. Okay, so Slaughterhouse 5 has a rating of 4.09, and Cat's Cradle has a rating of 4.16. So we're going with Cat's Cradle. This is the next book I'm gonna read. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. It is 287 pages. Also, both of these books have like this weird drawing of a dude on the back. I don't really know what that is. Is that supposed to be Kurt Vonnegut? But anyways, here it is, next book. It's another classic. I have now put 2 classics onto this readathon. That's so unusual for me, but let's see how this goes. Okay, so I have finished Cat's Cradle. It is now pretty much 5 o'clock, so we are at the end. I am going to do another roll and probably pick the next book that I'm going to read just because I am still on sprints with my Patreons and I want to do it with them. And then I will take a break for 5 hours because I'm going to the graduation, and then I will start my next book at 10 p.m. my time. Cat's Cradle was weird. This was a very strange, odd book. I think it has a lot of like symbolism and commentary on religion and like human interactions, the way we feel about other people, what's really important in life, giving life meaning, those types of things. And I think it probably was fairly well done. I think the way the story was told was very bizarre to me, and not in a way that was like particularly intriguing for me. I think it was fine. I didn't dislike it, but I don't feel like it's anything I'm really excited about. Overall though, it was like easy to read. It was easy to get through. I feel like the pace was very fast and there were very short chapters, so we kind of jumped very quickly through things. So that made it easy to read and easy to get through. So overall, it was okay. I had a decent time reading it, and I'm just kind of excited to see what I get to read next. So let's jump into the next roll. Okay, so we're on to our next roll. We don't want a 3. And honestly, I could live without a 6 or a 1 as well. I don't really want a giant book prompt to come up, but really, if I get anything but a 1 or a 3, I would be happy. I'd be most happy if we get past this stinking black hole, but let's see what we get. No 3s. Good vibes. Okay. It's a 2. Of course. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with it. It's not a 3. It's okay. Okay, so we only moved 2 spaces, which I guess isn't the end of the world. We got a moon, so we are going to see what moon prompt we get. I'm going to screen record. Let's see what we get. I don't really want a book over 400 pages. I don't really want a graphic novel either. I don't have any of those on my TBR, so I don't really want it necessarily, and I don't really want Kindle because none of the books I'm reading are on my Kindle. Ugh, this could be rough. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh! Oh, interesting. Okay, so my husband's gonna choose. I'll get back to you on what he picks. I might give him options or I might give him free reign. I'll let you know. Okay, so I let my husband pick out of all the books that I have on my TBR for the month. I felt like that'd probably be the easiest way to kind of narrow them down a little bit for him, because if I let him just have free reign, there are a lot of books in this house, and he could pick a super, super long one. He could pick one that I'm just not interested in right now. He could pick one that's like the start of a 10-book series. I just didn't want to give him that much freedom. So I let him pick from the books that are on my TBR for this month. And he decided to go with Normal People by Sally Rooney. And I'm pretty happy about it. I think he tried to pick one that was kind of not super short, but not super long. That sounded kind of interesting. So this is the one we have. It's not terribly long, and I am not going to be starting it until 10 p.m. tonight, which is when I will resume the readathon. And at that time, I am anticipating finishing this book tonight and doing another roll tonight before I go to bed as well. So I'll see you again at 10. Actually, I probably am not going to update you until I finish this book because I am planning on finishing it tonight. If I don't finish it tonight, I'll update you before I go to bed. But I think this is a great pick. I think this is very doable. He was nice to me. He could have picked something like The Bone Shard War or Misrule or something like that. So he was definitely nice to me on this one. So I have yet to go to bed. I went to the graduation. It was great. My friend got this like special honor. It was like exceptional doctoral student, I think is what it was, but like within her program. It was just really cool. It was awesome to see her picked out of so many doctoral people to be honored that way. It was just really great. I loved it. It was so much fun. She's great. I absolutely love her. But it is now, what time is it? About 1 a.m. I think that's pretty much the exact time I guessed that I would finish this book. I was right on. And I have finished Normal People by Sally Rooney. This book was interesting. This definitely dove into mental health, into a lot of different hard topics like abuse, PTSD, and just the way that different things we've experienced and been through affect how we are as people and the way we interact with other people in the world, view ourselves. It was very heavy. I actually didn't expect that much going in. I didn't really know what to expect. I've never read Sally Rooney before. I've never really had experience reading her stuff before. And I guess that really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But it was. It was like, this is deep, this is heavy, just a heads up. And I also found it very readable. I felt like I didn't really want to put it down. I wanted to keep reading it. And I do feel like I have realized that with literary fiction is that it is just very easy to read. It doesn't take as much brain power as fantasy, which I feel like anyone could have told me that. Shocker, fantasy takes more brain power because you have to learn all these things, remember all these things, and pretty much discover a whole new world. And this is set in our world. And I feel like a lot of literary fiction has a fairly limited cast of characters that you need to keep up with. And this was no exception. It was very easy to read, easy to just continually read and binge. I did definitely feel like this was an experience to read. So yeah, one more book read for this readathon. We will do another roll, and I guess depending on how long the next book I pick is, there's a potential that I will do another roll this evening before I go to bed. But if it is too long, I definitely won't. I'll be going to bed and finishing it tomorrow, but we'll see what we get. I'm just really hoping we don't hit a black hole. Other than that, I think I'll be good. Okay, so we clearly don't want a 1. We cannot hit that black hole again. I might cry a little bit. Or a 6, apparently. So there are 2 out of 6 of the numbers that we don't want to roll. Ugh, I don't really like those odds, not gonna lie to you, but I tend to have fairly good luck on my nighttime rolls, so we are gonna manifest a good number. It's gonna happen. Okay. Yes! Oh, yes! Okay. 5! Oh, this is beautiful. It's the perfect number, and it's a star. I'm so happy. Okay, let's go ahead and see what prompt I get. Okay, so we're rolling for a star prompt, and honestly, I'm gonna be okay with any of these on here. I'm a little too tired, I think, to really care too much. So morning me might care a little bit more, but let's just go ahead and let's see what we get. I'm feeling good about it. I feel like star prompts are the easiest ones, and I'd be actually really happy if we got a free pick, but I'm open. I literally just got this one. Okay. It is what it is. We are going to read another short book. Okay, so of the short books on my TBR that I haven't read yet, I've already said I don't really want to read the Last Tale of Flower Bride yet. I don't know why. Maybe I want to read it, binge it during the day when I'm a little more awake, but These are the two left. I mean, this one's clearly the stand-in for the other book in this series. And then I have Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. These are the only two books I have left that are less than 300 pages. I don't know which one I want to read. I mean, this one's definitely longer, so this one will take longer to read. This one's really quick, and maybe I could get another roll in before I go to bed. It's really hard to make decisions at 1 a.m. You know, I think I'm going to do the other Kurt Vonnegut. I don't know why. I just feel like this is the one I'm picking. I don't have a reason for this. This is the one we're going with. Slaughterhouse-Five it is. I have the audiobook along with this one. We're going to try to bust it out tonight. I feel like maybe it's a little crazy. We'll see. I might actually be updating you tomorrow morning. I don't know. We'll see how awake I feel. Okay, it's now about noon. Yes, it's noon on Saturday morning, and I have now finished Slaughterhouse-Five. I started sprints with my Patreons at about 11, so I had about an hour left of this book, and it was fine. I feel like it probably does do a really good job about showing like how horrible war is and the long-term effects of it and how different people deal with the like all the horrible things that are experienced in war. I didn't like some of the things that were in this book. The alien part, the sci-fi author part, I don't know. I found those very strange, and I wasn't really a fan of that aspect of it. I know that it was written in the way it was intentionally, but it was very convoluted. It was all over the place. I definitely don't think that this is my style, but I do understand like what's being done here, the draw of it, how people feel so much about this book for sure. So it's not that I thought it was a bad book by any means. I just didn't feel like it was something that I personally really enjoyed. I don't think that the writing style is really for me either. I think Kurt Vonnegut might be an author that just isn't my favorite. He does write things in a very kind of bizarre way. It's a lot of nonsensical things. It doesn't really make sense. And I think a lot of what he did in this book was trying to include some things that really did happen along with some things that didn't happen. I would have liked to have been able to tell the difference a little bit more between the made up and the not. Overall, it was fine. This wasn't anything that I absolutely loved though. But we have now done another book for the Readathon. This is book number 4, I believe. So making a lot of progress, getting through a lot of books. And let's go ahead and jump into the next roll. Hopefully we can get past the black hole. Ooh, I really hope so. Okay, here we are. This could potentially be our final roll. We obviously don't want a 1. I don't want to go back to the beginning. If we get a 5 or a 6, this is the last roll of the game and we will have won. So, I mean, I would love to win, but I'm totally fine if this isn't the last roll as long as we don't have to go back to the beginning. Here we go. A 4, nice. Woo, look at that, boom. Yes, okay, so we're gonna have 2 more books to read. I'm really excited. This is perfect. Let's go see what prompt we get. Okay, here we are. We're going to do the spin for the final spin of the game, which is awesome. It's a moon prompt. I was just talking to my Patreons about this, and there's actually quite a few that I would just prefer not to get. I don't really want Treat Your Shelf because I don't have anything I need to buy necessarily. I don't really want a graphic novel at this point. I want to finish with like 2 solid books. I don't really want husband pick because my husband's not there, but my Patreon said that she would pick for me if I need to, and I don't really want Kindle, so I'm like, there's so many that I don't necessarily want, but let's see what we get. I'll turn up the volume so we can hear the spin. Keep going, keep going. Yes! Yes! Okay, we're good, we're good. I'm happy. This is good. I'm so happy about this. Okay, so the prompt is hardcover. I have a few options for this, so I'm gonna go grab some. I'll be back. Okay, so I grabbed some options for potential books to read. I have 4 here. They are all from my actual May TBR from the big game, which I'm really excited about. I'm gonna be able to have every single book that I read for this readathon actually a part of my May TBR, which I love. So first I have Misrule, which is the second book to Malice. This is just a duology, so this would finish out a series. It's not too long, but still like a good solid book. And it's a fantasy romance, so pretty quick reads for me for sure. I also have Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. This is the same author who wrote Normal People, which I did read earlier in this readathon. It's the shortest of these options, so it'd be pretty easy to get through, pretty quick. Plus literary fiction, like I said, is really quick for me to read overall anyways. I also have Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, which is the second to last book in the Throne of Glass series. I put one of these books on a lot of these readathons. This is kind of almost a tradition to read a Throne of Glass book during these readathons. So this one is quite long though. It's about 700 pages long. And so this would be a huge commitment if I did decide to put this on there. And then I also have The Bone-Shard War by Andrea Stewart, which is the third and final book in the Drowning Empire. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Drowning Empire trilogy. I have been reading these books with my friend Joanna, and this is the third and final book that we need to read for that series. This is newly released. I'm really excited about it. I want to see how this ends. Plus, I really like this bright purple cover. I like it a lot. And I did look, and it looks like it's very thick, but it's just over 600 pages, I think, which isn't horrible. Yeah, it's like 611 pages, which definitely could be worse. I think that's not too bad, honestly, for an adult high fantasy book. So now to decide, I don't think I'm gonna go with Conversations with Friends just because this readathon I have read pretty much all literary fiction, which is not my usual genre that I read, and I'm thinking I need some fantasy. I haven't had enough fantasy during this readathon, so this one's gonna be put aside, not the choice for this one. Honestly, I think I'm gonna wait on this one too. I really want to read it, but I don't know. It's not the pick. It's just not. Like, I'm not feeling it as the pick. So it's between these two. I think I'm gonna pick this one. And I think my reasoning is that this one is the right length, so I can probably finish it either before or during my next set of sprints with my Patreons, so I'll be able to do my final roll with them in our sprints this evening. So that is what I'm going to do with it. I am actually really excited to finish out this series. I am not in love with it. It's not like anything that I'm just dying to get back to, but it's been intriguing me since it got put onto my TBR for the month. And so I really want to read it. And I think it's the perfect length to be able to get my next roll done this evening. And so I can kind of pick whatever I want for my final one. So I'll have a lot of time to be able to read a solid length book. So this is my pick. And I'm really excited about it. I think this has been a great readathon, really good picks. And it's like another solid book to read from my actual May TBR. So yay. Okay, so it is now pretty much 8 p.m. and I have finished Misrule, which is the second book in the Malice duology, like I mentioned, and I enjoyed it to an extent. I feel like it definitely went in a direction that I wasn't expecting, and the main character was really dumb. She seriously did so much on emotion. She didn't think. She was just not the brightest, and it drove me absolutely nuts. I feel like so many things that happened I saw coming, and she was just talking in her head, and I was like, you're like, how do you not see this? Like, don't be dumb. And she did. She was. So anyways, it was fine. I feel like it was quite mid for me. And the romance was not great, in my opinion. I was not feeling it. I felt like I would not root for that relationship. The unhealthiness was just out of this world. I just couldn't with this relationship in this book. But I finished it. It's moving on. I feel like I like the first book better. I actually like the first book significantly better than this one because I feel like there was a lot more room to give some leeway for some of these characters and the decisions that they made. But this one was like, no, you are no longer a child at this point. Like, stop acting like one. So anyways, overall, it was just okay. Really not my favorite, but we're now done and we can move on to the final roll, which we know is going to land us on the final spot. We're one spot away. So there's no way that we're going to not get there. So let's just go do the roll and come back and pick a book. Okay, here we are with the final roll. It doesn't really matter what we roll, so I'm just gonna do it, but a 5. Of course we get a big number when we only needed 1, but that's the end. We've reached the final spot, which is a free pick, so let's go see what we choose. Okay, so I have 4 options for this spot. The final spot in the mini Star Hop game is a free pick, so I can choose any book that I want to. And I have some options. All of them are from my May TBR, of course, because if I finish this book, I will have finished 6 books out of my 13 in 48 hours, which I am just so excited about. So first option I have is Jane Eyre. I put this on. I'm really excited to read it. I think it's going to be really good. I feel like this is a classic I could absolutely love. And I love finding classics that I really enjoy. They're just really something that are for me. And so I really want to give this one a shot. I also have Conversations with Friends, which is a shorter, quicker read. It would be easily doable before the end of the readathon. I have Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, which is the second to last book in the Throne of Glass series. This one is significantly longer. I think this is the longest book of all of them on this list. It's coming in at about 700 pages, but these are really fast reads. It's YA fantasy romance. There's a lot of plot and it's very fast paced in general. They tend to be, and a lot of romance. So I don't know, they're very easy, very quick to read. And The Bone Shard War by Andrea Stewart. And this one is quite a little bit more complicated adult high fantasy. I did quite enjoy the first 2. I feel like the first one was my favorite. Second one I had some issues with, but I'm intrigued to see where we go with this one for sure. And this one is coming in at just over 600 pages. So still pretty long, but not quite as long. Looking at my options, I feel like the first one I'm going to remove is Conversations with Friends. I think, one, it's just too short, and also I have read quite a bit of literary fiction here, and I feel like I don't really need this one. I think it'd be a really easy read, but it's not gonna happen. I also think I'm gonna remove The Bone Shard War because I have been doing live shows for these books with my friend Joanna. We just kind of get together and chat about them, and I would like to read it probably closer to the date of our live show so it's a little bit fresher in my mind. I think it's just a little bit too long. I'd like it to have it a little bit more fresh. So that leaves us with these 2. Who am I kidding? I know which one I'm going to pick. As much as I want to read this one, I think I'm gonna love it, and I think this would be the easier pick. We know we're going with this one. It just feels right. I've picked a Throne of Glass book for almost every one of these readathons for the last few months, or last few times I've done it. And even though this one is really long, it's the longest on here, it's going to take some effort to finish it within the time frame. I still think this is the best choice. I like the consistency of it. It just is very pleasing to me to have one of these on each of the readathons for some reason. And I think I have plenty of time to finish it. I know it's longer than the other ones that have been in the series, but I still think I should be able to do it. It's a quick read. They're very fast for me. So yeah, this is the one going on the list. We're doing Empire of Storms. A little bit of a challenge, but I like it. I'm really excited. And it's another really long book off my TBR that I will be knocking out in this readathon. So here we go. I don't have another sprint with my Patreons until tomorrow at 1. We're gonna close out the last 4 hours of the readathon together with sprints. And so I'm probably gonna be able to sleep in a little bit tomorrow. So planning on staying up pretty late reading, trying to get a good chunk of this done. So yeah, I probably won't update you until the end of the readathon though, just because I don't tend to do that as much anymore. I know I used to at the beginning of these readathons, so I thought it made the videos really long. And honestly, my thoughts are incoherent at like 3 in the morning. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, the readathon has now ended and I finished Empire of Storms. This was long. It's deceptively skinnier than the others, but this was definitely longer. And I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought this was really engaging. There was a lot of plot. I liked jumping between the different POVs. And I actually really enjoyed one of our, she's not new, but newer additions to the POVs. She was, I don't know, I really like her a lot. I thought she was she was very interesting to follow. I liked how much more we learned about like the backstory, the lore, getting deeper into that. And overall, I just thought this was a really good time. I thought this was probably my favorite of the Throne of Glass books so far. I think this is probably so far my favorite of Throne of Glass books. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It ended in a way that I didn't expect. And I feel like there's a lot left open. Like there's a lot to be accomplished by the end and there's only 1 book left. And I think it's so strange to me how we'll have these like 7-book series and yet the last book seems to have so much crammed into it. Like there's so many people that still need to be dealt with. And so I'm interested to see where we go with it. And I'm guessing Kingdom of Ash will probably be on next month's TBR, but we'll see. So I did win Mini Star Hop, yay. And here are all of the books that I read for this readathon. I feel like I did really well. There are 6 books here and all 6 books were on my actual May TBR and they're all actual books. None of them are novellas or graphic novels, so I'm very proud of myself. So we had Slaughterhouse 5 for a book under 300 pages, Cat's Cradle for a book under 300 pages, Charlotte's Web, oh my gosh, what was that for? Oh, that was for the black hole. Normal People, which was for husband pick, Misrule for a hardcover, and Empire of Storms was for the final spot free pick. That is a good stack. I am very proud of myself for that. I mean, Empire of Storms is like 700 pages, Misrule's like 450 pages, and the other ones, like, they're shorter, and I mean, they're not super long, but I mean, Normal People, that's a normal length book, so I'm proud of how this readathon went. It was so much fun. We had a lot of people on the sprints, and it was just a really great weekend. So much reading done. Yeah. So overall, this was probably one of my favorite readathons just because of how successful it was. While it was challenging without being overly stressful, and I didn't have to fit on a ton of very small books just to be able to make it to the end. So yeah, this was so much fun. This was a great weekend. I can't wait to do another one. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.